Deep beneath Egypt's sands, a colossal slab of stone stands in utter darkness. Torchlight dances over carved hieroglyphs on its surface, illuminating a barrier as heavy as a herd of elephants. This 40-ton door of solid granite was set in place millennia ago to guard the resting place of a pharaoh. The air is stale, the silence complete. Beyond this monolith lies the realm of the dead, a royal tomb sealed off from the world of the living.
Why such titanic doors? And how did the Egyptians move them without machinery? They were obsessed with eternity, and tomb robbers threatened to steal it. For a pharaoh, the tomb was a sacred house of eternity to safeguard his body and treasures for the afterlife. To violate it was to imperil his soul. Yet thieves hungered for the gold within. So architects devised formidable defenses, immense weight and clever design. Picture intruders creeping through a dark corridor, only to reach a seamless wall of stone, the treasure beyond unreachable. These massive barriers became the pharaoh's silent sentinels. Envision the funeral of a great pharaoh in ancient times. Deep in the tomb, priests finish their prayers as the king's mummy is laid to rest. At the entrance, workers strain on ropes, hauling a granite slab toward the doorway. The enormous block grinds forward inch by inch until, with a final thunderous boom, it drops into place. Dust billows and torches flutter as darkness engulfs the chamber. The living seal the edges and depart. The pharaoh is now alone in silence behind a fortress of stone, entombed, with eternity officially begun. One of the earliest examples of this engineering is the Great Pyramid of Giza, the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu. Within its corridors, after Khufu's burial around 2560 BC, 3 giant granite blocks were slid down to choke off the narrow ascending passage. Each block weighed several tons and fit so tightly that the passage suddenly ended in what looked like solid rock. Further inside, an antechamber held additional granite slabs poised to drop like portcullis gates, blocking entry to the sacred king's chamber. To any would-be thief, it was an almost impenetrable gauntlet of stone. Amazingly, 4,500 years later, the Great Pyramid is still giving up secrets. In 2023, scientists scanning Khufu's pyramid with cosmic rays found a hidden corridor behind its north face, above the ancient entrance. They threaded a tiny camera through a crack and glimpsed a 30-foot passage that had been sealed since construction. Even in the modern era, we rely on high-tech scans and robotic cameras to probe the mysteries Khufu's builders left hidden behind stone. Pharaohs of later dynasties took the idea of hidden tombs even further. In the Middle Kingdom, around 1850 BC, King Senwosret III built his burial vault deep beneath the desert at Abydos, as far underground as a modern 13-story building. Its passages twisted and turned, and along the route, Senwosret's builders positioned colossal blocking stones. Some weighed an estimated 40 to 50 tons, sealing entire hallways. These monoliths were likely slid into place down pre-cut ramps, locking with a force no human could hope to move. The result was a labyrinthine sanctuary that thwarted robbers and remained hidden for millennia. Other pharaohs added their own ingenious twists. King Amenemhat III, for example, built a pyramid at Hawara with sliding doors of quartzite concealed in the ceiling. Each stone slab weighed about 20 tons. When his tomb was sealed, workers likely released tons of sand from supporting shafts, gently lowering a slab into a passageway like the world's heaviest deadbolt. In effect, the corridor was suddenly bricked off by a wall that hadn't been there moments before. It was a mechanical trap set in stone, and a testament to how far Egyptian engineers would go to protect a king's rest. By the New Kingdom, around 1300 BC, pharaohs like Seti I and Ramesses II were being laid to rest in the Valley of the Kings, a secret royal cemetery hidden in the cliffs. Out of sight did not mean unprotected. Their tomb architects still installed massive barriers. In Seti I's spectacular tomb, a huge granite portcullis slab was dropped into slots to block a passage. When explorer Giovanni Belzoni rediscovered that tomb in 1817, he had to chisel his way through that ancient stone barricade to reach the painted halls beyond. The fact that it took modern explorers such effort shows how effective these measures were, at least for a time. The most famous intact tomb of all, Tutankhamun's, was protected more by secrecy than by any barricade of stone. His small burial was tucked beneath debris in the Valley of the Kings, its entrance sealed with a plain plaster door stamped with the royal necropolis seal. No giant plug was needed. His resting place was simply forgotten by robbers. When Howard Carter uncovered it in 1922, he found the doorway still unbroken. He chiseled a small hole and peered in by candlelight, then gasped at the sight of glittering treasure. He later described seeing wonderful things, a hoard of gold untouched for millennia, preserved by that humble sealed door. Not all tomb doors were built to keep people out. Many tombs also featured a false door in the chapel, a carved portal for the soul of the deceased. It looked like a door, but never opened, a symbolic gateway through which the spirit could receive offerings from the living. In 2025, archaeologists in Saqqara uncovered a stunning example. A 4,400-year-old tomb with a pink granite false door nearly 5 meters tall, inscribed for an ancient prince. This monumental door to the afterlife served as a spiritual passage for his car, even as real stone blocks sealed his burial chamber. Even now, these massive stone doors inspire awe. Without modern machinery, workers somehow maneuvered stones weighing tens of tons into place. Ancient Egypt wasn't the only civilization building impossibly engineered wonders. Over 7,000 miles away, high in the Peruvian Andes, archaeologists have uncovered a massive stone structure that defies everything we thought we knew about ancient technology. What they found on that mountain doesn't just raise questions, it challenges logic itself.
This is Ollantaytambo, and it's the last Inca town which is still more or less intact. Today we're going up to the quarry site where megalithic stones were extracted.
There are no tools that are discovered that have these, highly advanced capabilities.
Well, the tools were either recycled by different cultures over the course of time, or they're being hidden in warehouses in different countries that the government doesn't want the public to know about.
Nestled in the high, rugged terrain of the Sacred Valley, the Temple of the Sun at Ollantaytambo is a testament to ancient engineering.
Well, all the geologists I know who've looked at it say that it's natural stone.
The temple's most striking feature is the Wall of the Six Monoliths, built from enormous stones, each weighing tens of tons. The mystery of how these colossal stones were transported to such an elevated site without modern technology continues to puzzle scientists, historians, and archaeologists.
And some of the stones that were extracted weigh 65 tons.
Various theories have been proposed, from the use of log rollers and ramps to the incredible strength of human and animal labor. But the precise methods remain a subject of speculation and wonder. The discovery of the Temple of the Sun in Ollantaytambo and subsequent findings in the area are deeply intertwined with the broader exploration and rediscovery of Incan sites throughout the Sacred Valley. The detailed story of its discovery reflects a blend of local knowledge and international scholarly interest, which brought this remarkable site back into the world's consciousness.
It's obvious that the Inca found an abandoned megalithic city and made it their center because of that.
The process of mapping and documenting the Inca sites along the Urubamba Valley began earnestly in the 19th century, but gained significant momentum with the explorative fervor that marked the early 20th century. Notable figures such as Hiram Bingham, who famously publicized Machu Picchu in 1911, were instrumental in bringing global attention to the Inca sites. Although Bingham did not discover Ollantaytambo, his work set the stage for its further exploration. The first detailed descriptions of Ollantaytambo emerged from explorers like Sir Clements Markham in the late 19th century, who documented the Inca trails and their connecting sites. These accounts highlighted the site's grandeur and intricate stonework, noting its potential significance, but often lacking the archaeological precision seen in later years. By the 1920s and 1930s, more detailed expeditions were undertaken, often by Peruvian and international teams, who began to catalogue the ruins in earnest. These teams used early photographic techniques to create comprehensive records that would later prove crucial for restoration and further study. The mid-20th century saw a surge in archaeological interest that brought more scientific methods to the study of Ollantaytambo. Starting in the 1950s, archaeological teams began to apply more rigorous scientific techniques to their excavations. Notable among these was the work led by American archaeologist John Rowe in the 1960s, which focused on understanding the site's cultural and historical context. His work helped to place Ollantaytambo within the broader narrative of the Inca Empire's expansion and religious significance. The use of early photographic equipment and later, more sophisticated imaging techniques allowed researchers to analyze the alignment of the temple stones. This was crucial in establishing its purpose related to astronomical events, particularly the solstices, which were significant in Inca cosmology.
A lot of these ancient megalithic sites, they seem to be astronomically aligned.
The role of local knowledge in the rediscovery and understanding of the Temple of the Sun cannot be overstated. The temple's significance in local folklore helped guide and enrich the archaeological narrative. The local Quechua communities retained oral histories that spoke of the temple's celestial alignments and its role in Inca rituals. These stories, passed down through generations, often provided the missing links in understanding the site's function, such as the significance of specific stone placements and their relationship to Inca astrology. Local stories frequently guided archaeologists to specific parts of the site that had been overlooked or misunderstood. For example, the local legend of the Path of the Sun helped researchers identify and understand the importance of certain architectural lines that align with the sun during the winter solstice. The water mirrors found near the Temple of the Sun at Ollantaytambo provide a fascinating glimpse into the sophisticated engineering and astronomical knowledge of the Inca civilization. These architectural features, essentially functioning as reflective pools, offer insight into how the Incas manipulated natural elements to serve both practical and ceremonial purposes. The primary function of these water mirrors was to observe and track celestial bodies. By observing the reflections of the sun, moon, and stars, Inca astronomers could determine critical calendrical and agricultural periods. This was essential not only for the timing of planting and harvesting crops, but also for determining the dates of various religious festivals and ceremonies, which were profoundly influenced by astronomical events.
Taking into account the solstices and equinoxes for ceremonial purposes.
An intriguing comparison can be drawn between the Incan water mirrors and the use of water in Roman architecture, such as in the famous impluvium in Roman atrium houses. Like the Incan mirrors, these Roman basins were central architectural features designed to collect rainwater, but they also played a role in the aesthetic and practical aspects of Roman domestic life, providing a source of water and a focal point for the household. While the Romans used these features primarily for practical domestic purposes, the Incas elevated their water mirrors to the level of astronomical precision and ceremonial significance, integrating them into their spiritual and scientific understanding of the universe. This comparison not only highlights the universal human attraction to and use of reflective surfaces, but also emphasizes the unique ways in which such features were adapted to meet specific cultural needs and beliefs. The wall of the 6 monoliths at the Temple of the Sun in Ollantaytambo stands as a profound testament to Inca engineering and architectural prowess. This iconic structure features 6 massive stones, each masterfully carved and placed with precision that remains a topic of admiration and mystery among historians and engineers alike. The crafting of the Wall of the Six Monoliths involved sophisticated stoneworking techniques that the Incas had perfected over generations. The stones were quarried from sites several kilometers away, involving a complex process of extraction, transportation, and placement. The precise technique used to transport these massive stones remains partially speculative, with theories suggesting the use of log rollers, llamas, and sheer human force. Once at the site, the stones were meticulously shaped to fit together perfectly. This was achieved through a method known as ashlar masonry, where stones are cut to fit together without mortar. The joints between the stones are so fine that it is often said not even a piece of paper can slide between them. This precision not only added to the aesthetic and structural integrity of the wall, but also enhanced its seismic resilience, allowing it to withstand the frequent earthquakes that can occur in the region. The construction of such a wall required a deep understanding of geological and architectural principles. The Inca builders selected specific types of stone based on their durability and resistance to weathering. The alignment and interlocking of the stones further contributed to the wall's stability, distributing seismic forces throughout the structure rather than allowing them to concentrate at any single point. The Temple of the Sun's status as an unfinished structure adds a layer of historical intrigue. The abrupt halt in its construction provides a snapshot into a tumultuous period marked by the Spanish conquest. Archaeological findings at the site reveal a sudden stop in construction activities. Tools and materials were found abandoned, as if the workers had dropped them mid-task. Large stone blocks, partially carved, remained scattered around the site, suggesting that significant planning and labour were underway at the time of the disruption. This unfinished state offers a unique insight into the Inca construction methods, as it lays bare the various stages of their building process, from initial stone shaping to final placement. The presence of these artifacts helps archaeologists understand the chronological order of construction phases and the techniques used by the Incas. To grasp the scale and weight of the stones in the Wall of the Six Monoliths, consider that each stone could weigh as much as 50 tons. This is comparable to the weight of 10 large African elephants, or about 35 compact cars. The effort to move, carve, and perfectly place each of these stones is akin to modern engineering feats, such as the assembly of massive turbines used in hydroelectric dams, or the construction of heavy concrete structures in earthquake-prone areas.